if you could just use them, that would be great. Thank you. So we're going to be moving on to our proper normal lesson in a minute, but I just wanted to talk you through this other website that I would like to start using, and I think it's going to be good while we're working remotely. But I also think it's got a lot of good features that we would use when we were back in school. So even though we've only got a couple of weeks to go before the end of term, it is one I would like us to start using now and again. So all I want you to do today really is just try and log in. I've set a very simple little algebra quiz just so you can see how it works, but I'm not going to be recording those marks or anything. So don't worry if you get 0 out of 4 or 0 out of 5. I just want you to just make sure you can get in. So I've sent you all an email which gives you a link. So you just copy and paste that link over to open it up, and that takes you to a specific Dr. Frost page. You then just ignore the first bit where it says you can sort of link it up to Google or Facebook or whatever. All you need to do is just put in your Christian name, your first name, your surname, your school email address, and set a password. And I think for those of you who've done that already, I've just set that little bit of work, but literally just a couple of minutes ago, so you might not have seen it yet. So when this recording finishes, if you could just try and log in and have a quick go at those questions, that would be great. I'm just going to show you what the a little bit of what it has to offer. So and yes, and this is again what I'm doing my second form. So ignore what the material says. That's not relevant. So what's really nice about it is that I can set it up like this, which would be exactly like Hegarty, in as much that it's letting you have lots of more goes. You can have lots of attempts. You can show your workings a bit, which I'll come on to in a second. There is a video there and everything. So I've set it at the moment so it is exactly, well, very similar to what Hegarty does. So you might not really appreciate the difference, but it will. I'll talk you through the differences another day. But for now, what I particularly like, although I appreciate it's very difficult to write with your mouse, as you're doing the questions, okay, so you're just doing the questions over here on the left, just like Hegarty, there's this little mini whiteboard on the right-hand side. And okay, I know it's really easy for me because I've got one of those devices where I can write onto the screen, so I can write quite neatly. You may well not have that, so you're going to be doing it with your mouse. But could you just do a little scribble over here when you just do that little practice question? By the way, your questions aren't anywhere near as hard as this. Can you just do a little scribble over there, or give me a smiley face, or say hello? Or if you are able, if you have got quite good mouse control, if you could actually do your proper workings for the question there, that would be good. And here's one that Phoebe did for me in my first form. Do you see? So from my point of view, this bit at the top, it was you. That's the question you've got. That's where you submit your answer. And this is where you do your workings. But from my point of view, this is what I see, you see. So it's excellent because not only do I see your answer, and not only can I give you feedback, just like on Hegarty, but I can actually see your workings. So if you have gone wrong, it's going to be very easy for me to help you out to see what stage you've gone wrong at. So I appreciate it's going to be very frustrating with your mouse control and everything, but if you could just practice just trying to do a working on the right, even if you just do it for one of the questions, that would be much appreciated, because I'm trying to get familiar with the how the website works on my end. So it would just be nice to see how you guys get on with that. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. So when our live lesson finishes, get on and do the Hegarty that I've set you. I don't think it will take you long. And then either before or after you do the Hegarty, if you could just make sure you've logged on to the Dr. Frost website, please. Let me know if you're having any problems. The questions probably won't be waiting for you if you haven't logged on yet. So if you just tell me you've logged on, I can just set you the questions, and then that would be great. And just rattle through them. As I said, I'm not going to be recording the marks for that Dr. Frost stuff. That's just a little trial for getting it up and running. Anyway, moving over to today's lesson. So now let me see. When I'm changing my whiteboard, no, I should just be able to do it up here, I think. Yeah. Okay. So this is our normal lesson, okay? So this is going to lead to you doing Hegarty 96, please. Now, what you are used to at the moment, all the practice we've done so far when we've been doing the multiplier, is when we've started off by saying there's been a 5% increase in the price of the car or a 4% decrease in the price of the car. And what we were then doing, just to remind you, we'd say, right, let's figure out what the multiplier is. So start off with 100. Then we'd say if there's a 5% increase, we're adding on 5 to give us 105%. And what multiplier does that give us? Well, you divide it by 100, that would give you a multiplier of 1.05. And as you know, had there been a 4% decrease, you say, right, 100% to start with, take away your 4%, gives you 96%, and therefore the multiplier is 0.96. So a multiplier bigger than 1 when you want to increase something, a multiplier smaller than 1 when you want to decrease something. And what you've been doing up to now, the question might have told you that the computer game cost £120 to start with, say, and then if there'd been a 5% increase, you were just simply multiplying it by 1.95, and that would go and give you your answer. So all the ones we've done so far, okay, you have been given as a starting point the original price. We've always had the original price to start with. We've then taken on board a price change, a percentage change, and we've been working out the final price. So all the ones you've done so far, we've been going left to right. Original price to start with, final price to finish with. You work out your multiplier, and then you've been multiplying every time. You've been multiplying. Now, all the ones we're going to be doing today are the other way around. Excuse me. All the ones we're going to be doing today, the question is going to give you the final price to start with. You go and work out the multiplier in exactly the same normal way, but then to get back to the original price, you don't multiply, you do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So all of these questions today, where you are given the final price to start with, work out the percentage multiplier, and it would be greater than 1 if it's an increase, less than 1 if it's a decrease, and then divide to get back to the original price. So let's just go and model some of these straight out of the Hegarty that you're going to be doing. Okay. So on this question 3 here, the price of an oven was increased by 20% to 156. So do you see what they're saying? That is the price after the increase. That is the final price. And they are asking us for the price before the increase. So this is one where we're going from the final price back to the original price. All of these will be final back to the original. All of these are going to be dividing. Now, step 1, you work out the percentage increase in exactly the normal way. So it was increased by 20%. So that's going to be your usual. 100 plus 20 equals 120. So your multiplier is 1.2. So take that final price, which is £156, and divide by 1.2. Okay, so 156 divided by 1.2 gives me £130. And just have a care, does that make sense? If a price of an oven was increased to become 156, clearly the original price will have been a smaller number because you've increased to get to 156. So just before you enter your final answer, check, does it make sense if my answer is bigger or smaller? Right, so that's an example of question 3. Question 6. Now the price of a car was decreased by 10% and it became 722.9. What was the price before the decrease? So step 1, work out the multiplier when you have a 10% decrease. So 100 take away 10 is 90%, giving us a multiplier of 0.9. So because we've been given the final price and we want the original, we divide by the multiplier. Now look, when you go and divide by something smaller than 1, it gives you a bigger answer. Okay, note how I've divided by something less than 1 and my answer's got bigger. And look, that makes sense. The price of a car was decreased and it became 729 after the decrease. So it absolutely makes sense that the original price was 810. They took 10% off it and that becomes 729. So that was question 6. Question 9. So the price of a ring was increased by 9% and it became 1800. What was the original price, they're asking? So usual thing, because it's an increase, we just take 100, we add our 9%, 109%, giving us a multiplier of 1.09. Because we're going from final price back to the original, we take a 1,800 and we divide by 1.09. So 1800 divided by 1.09, and I get 1651.376 ... Now be careful, give your answer to the nearest penny. The nearest penny. So 100 pennies in a pound. So that's got to be my final number there. Do I round the 7 up? Yes, I do, because that 6 is greater than 5. So your final answer here would be £1651.38. So be ever so careful. You just get that rounding wrong, you will lose the mark for question 9. Okay, so to the nearest penny, you've got to get 2 numbers after the decimal point, and that second number may have to be rounded up or not. Right, and final one, the price of a computer was decreased by 30%. So a decrease, 100 take away 30 is 70%. Okay, we've decreased, so it's taking away. A 70% gives us a multiplier of 0.70 or 0.7. What was the price before the decrease? So this requires the dividing. 336 divided by 0.7. 336 divided by 0.7, and that equals £480. Does it make sense that that's a bigger number than we started with? Yes, it does, because the price of a computer was decreased, and after the decrease, it became 336. So the starting price must have been a bigger number. So when you took some money off it, you got 336. So hopefully that all makes sense, guys. So I don't mind which way around you want to do it, whether you want to go and do the Hegarty first and just get a good mark in that, and then just have a quick go on to the Dr. Frost, or if you want to do it the other way around. Okay, it's not the end of the world if you don't get around to doing the Dr. Frost questions, but what would be really good is if you could all have at least just logged on, so you've got an account set up. So another time I can go and set some classwork as a Dr. Frost exercise. Okay, guys, anyone got any questions? You can take your mic off if anyone's got any questions. No? Okay, guys, good luck with that. I'll be keeping an eye out, as always, on Teams, just in case you're getting stuck with either the Hegarty or the Dr. Frost. So cheers, guys. Bye.